Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm Skratch. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. Hope you guys are having an amazing day, an amazing weekend, sending some positive vibes your way, guys. In today's video, we're gonna talk about the upcoming fusion because PLARIUM just released some juicy news about the champion. I mentioned it in a previous video. Don't open shards unless you really need to do it because we're gonna have a brand new fusion coming out next week. It's kind of like standard now. Every month a new fusion, you know how it goes. And this is gonna be on their anniversary, guys. Expect to see the videos where are kind of like showing us in details what we've done for the entire year or for the entire career that we have in Raid. So we're gonna be able to check that as well. Kind of like how many dungeon runs we've done, how many champions we've collected, etc. Those videos are pretty nice all around. Well, this fusion, guys, is gonna be the starter champion, my starter champion, Elhain, in the legendary version. So we're gonna get the starter champions as legendaries. I've told you about this a while ago. We actually collected the avatars during all these events that we had, and we still have one more avatar left to collect, and I think that's for Gallic. So we're gonna be able to get Elhain through a fusion. I'm not sure how they're gonna introduce the other three champions, the other three starters, but I guess we're gonna find out more details in the next few days. That being said, let's have a quick look at what PLARIUM is saying about the champion. And hear me out. I feel like they are kind of like in the past, 2020, 2021 with what they're saying here. But I guess we're gonna get to see how the champion performs, right? So PLARIUM swears that this champion will be able to compete with the current meta. On Friday, March 10th, we're planning to launch a special anniversary champion fragment event with a new champion. So it's gonna be a fragment fusion. I love those ones compared to the classic fusions, which are just horrendous. I dislike them. Just too much work, ascend, level up champions. Better just collect fragments, snap your fingers and get the champion, you know? Supreme Elhain. Let's go. Faction high, else rarity, legendary, type, attack, affinity, void. So that's a plus for the champion. If, of course, he's gonna end up in being as strong as PLARIUM is kind of like mentioning it in here. Supreme Elhain will be a PvP-oriented champion with mechanics that can counter some parts of the current arena meta, guys. Here we are. It's not the 2020 meta, it's the meta from today. Let's take a closer look at her skills. With A1, she attacks one enemy 2 times, and with each hit transfers one random debuff from herself to the target enemy. That sounds pretty good as long as they don't have polymorph and stuff like that, because that can be dangerous. Using the A2, Supreme Elhain attacks all enemies and increases her damage by 10% for each debuff on each target. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm playing Arena every week and I haven't used a debuff champion, a buff stripper or anything like that in months. And guess why? That's because of polymorph. I don't know if this is really gonna be able to be played in the current meta. Yes, truly, if you're talking about tag team arena, if you're talking about the lower tiers of arena, it's gonna be pretty helpful to have the champion if you don't have many good nukers. Then, just pair her with the champions who place debuffs to get the maximum damage. However, you should watch out for the polymorph in the enemy team. If an enemy is skilled with this skill, Supreme Elhain resets the cooldown of her A3. With the help of the A3, she attacks one enemy, ignoring ally protection, strengthen, and shield buffs, which is great. That's definitely a great thing. You're gonna be able to ignore pretty much the buffs from Necret, and that's kind of like what they're saying here. And gets an extra turn if this attack kills an enemy. So if she has enough firepower in her kit, when we are talking about nukers, guys, let's be honest, everything that matters is multipliers, and it's been clearly demonstrated by Eilil. He has an amazing kit, but sucks because the multipliers are utterly trash, okay? So hopefully this is not gonna be the case with Elhain. I feel like the A3 needs to have a minimum of 5.5 to a 6-point attack multiplier, while the A2 should have a minimum of 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, 4.5, considering that she doesn't ignore any defense, and considering that, of course, nobody really uses buff strippers or champions that throw in a lot of debuffs on the enemy team. So if they really intend this champion to be used against the current meta, how they're kind of like mentioning it here and they're standing strong for it, she really needs to have good multipliers. Let me put it like that. So it's fun if you can kill somebody with the A3, get the A2, then kill somebody with the A2, so you have the A3 available again, you know. Then, if we're gonna read a bit what other things they said right here, and gets an extra turn if kills the enemy, though Supreme Elhain can counter a bolster set meta, which is great. Ally protection of such champions as Nakret, the Great, Ursaga Warcaller, Kyoku, etc. That sounds pretty great on paper. It's all about multipliers in here. Then, the A3 and A2 combo can get Supreme Elhain into a killing cycle with extra turn and cooldown reset mechanics. Supreme Elhain's passive skill makes her immune to decreased attack debuffs, which is absolutely great. A lot of champions land decreased attack in Arena now. You have Taras, you have Nakret, you have Mighty Uko, you have Ultimate Death Knight, Harima, which are definitely meta champions, so PLARIUM is now wrong on that. And yeah, this is a plus for Elhain. But again, multipliers, base attack, multipliers are kind of like the main thing. Then is another passive that I really like. So Supreme Elhain deals 20% more damage to enemies whose attack is lower than hers. And let's be honest, you're gonna attack mainly tank champions. They're all gonna have lower attack than you, so you're gonna get to do 20% extra damage. But again, if the multiplier is gonna be at 3 point something just because of this passive, she's gonna be useless. Trust me on that. On top of that, she increases ally attack in all battles by 30% with the aura. So PLARIUM is saying this champion is gonna be able to compete in the current meta. In a way, I kind of like disagree, because you need to ignore Stone Skin, you need to ignore defense if you want to compete in the current meta, for the simple fact that, yes, you cannot really use debuffers, you know, simple as that. Now, we actually have a bit of a footage with Elhain here, guys, so let's have a quick look. She looks pretty dope. Love the upgrades on the armor, the bow. Definitely, they're doing a great job on this. Like, it's not much to say about it. She looks pretty sick. And I'm very curious to see the other champions as well, the other starters. She was my starter champion, so yeah, I'm definitely excited to be able to get her as a fusion. Now, if we're gonna check the champion properly, check out the skills, the cooldowns, the books, the extra damage and stuff like this, which is gonna be very important. Let me just try to make this back to normal. Supreme Elhain, guys. Void Affinity. I like that idea, if she's good. If she's not good, she's just gonna be kind of like an extra chicken in the void pool, you know? So hopefully she's gonna be good. I'm curious if the other three are gonna be void affinity as well, or they're gonna have different affinities, each one of the affinities. Like void, spirit, force, magic. Guess we're gonna find that out. So, on the A1, we require 4 books for getting 20% extra damage. With the A2, where we attack all enemies, damage increases by 10% for each debuff on each target, resets the cooldown of the crack shot skill if this attack kills an enemy. This is gonna go down to a 3-turn cooldown fully booked, and we're gonna get 20% extra damage from here, which will allow us to do more damage, basically, you know. So far we need 7 books. Seems like we need 4 more on the A3, a total of 11 books to fully book the champion. Crack shot fully booked will be on a 4-turn cooldown. Attacks one enemy, will ignore ally protection, strengthen, and shield buff. Grants an extra turn if this attack kills an enemy. Now, man, this would have been so much better if the A2 will ignore 25% of the target's defense instead of increasing the damage for each debuff on the target. Would be so much better, guys, because yeah, she would actually have a chance at competing in the meta. Like, ignore defense is just so freaking important at the moment. She really needs to have crazy multipliers to be good, you know. Like, if the A2 multiplier is gonna be under 4 point something, it's just not gonna be good. It's not gonna do the job. I can't remember when was the last time when I used Madame series. It must have been months ago, like 3, 4, 5 months ago when I used my Madame series the last time, you know. Then The passives, we kind of like see how they are right here. Increases ally attack in all battles by 30%. That's great because you can use her as lead, gain more attack as well. Base stats will be very, very important. 1.5k attack, 1.6, 1.4. You know, that's gonna make a massive difference. And of course, everything with the multipliers. If they're gonna handicap the champion just because of the passive, and they're gonna give her low multipliers, thinking that everybody's gonna run the champion in a team with 5 more champions that land 20 debuffs on the enemy team, which is not possible because the maximum is 10, and they're counting that that's how she's gonna get her true potential. It's just not gonna happen, and that means that it's gonna be a weak sauce champion, which I really hope is not gonna be the case, considering there is Void Affinity, and we need to have some good fusions. We really need a strong nuker to be able for all of us to get it, basically, you know. So the fusion is the best way. I do hope they're not overreacting with the requirements for the fusion, considering that is their anniversary, guys, how I mentioned. So it's gonna be on the 10th of March. I hope they're gonna keep that in mind, think about the community and be like, you know what, guys, it's our anniversary. We're here to give you guys a good champion, and we want pretty much all of you guys to have the chance to get it as long as you're prepared for a fusion, you know. So hopefully they're not gonna do anything crazy like they've done with Brockney, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was on their anniversary as well last year. I might be wrong on it, but I really think it was on their anniversary, you know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you think that PLARIUM is right saying that this champion will be able to melt tanks, to kind of like be part of the current meta? Does it have a chance to compete with the other champions that we have in game? You know, like, is she really gonna be able to carry her own weight? Or you don't really think it, just based on her kit? Of course, I mentioned it probably 20 times already in the video, but multipliers are pretty much everything that matters, you know. That was all for this video, guys. Please let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about Supreme Elhain? Are you excited to be able to get the starter champions as legendaries? That was all for this video. Much love, appreciate all of you guys watching, and I'll catch you all soon in the next one. Peace.